Here's what happened the first time I ever tried hot yoga. I had committed myself to 90 minutes in a 105-degree room, otherwise known as Bikram, and I was like, girl, you got this. You're in shape, like you've done yoga before, you can totally do this. I was not physically prepared to handle the heat of the hot room, and I literally almost threw up and vomited all at the same time, about halfway through class. And so the teacher in the beginning, she was just like, take as many breaks as you need. If you need to leave the room, you can do that. And so I, went on to like child's pose on my mat and was just like, okay, just breathe through it. And I was like, no, I think I'm going to throw up or pass out or do both. I mean, I don't know. It was like literally that kind of moment. So I left the room and I just needed to like sit outside for a minute. And she comes out to like make sure that I'm okay. She knew it was my first class and she gave me some coconut water and she was just like, please don't try and stay out here too much. If you can, come back into the room because you don't want to then be going from like a hot room to a cold room and then back out based on how your body temperature is, and it can actually make you probably throw up even more by doing that. But I just remember that experience and just thinking like, who voluntarily does this to themselves of like putting them through 90 minutes in such a hot room? So for 2 years, I didn't go back. It scarred me, and I was like, I'm just not going to do it. And as I've read so many more health benefits of doing hot yoga, and then when I moved to California, I started doing not Bikram, Bikram is 90 minutes and 105 degrees. I started doing hot yoga, which was 60 minutes and in a room that was about 85, 90 degree heat. So if you've never tried Bikram, I'd highly recommend starting with hot yoga, which is what I started doing because I was like, okay, this is a great way to get my body used to it. I can adjust. I'm not all of a sudden in a room for 90 minutes. Like the difference between 60 and 90 minutes is huge, especially when you're doing something like that in a heated room. So now my experience today is so much different. I'm going to share with you why I love going to hot yoga. So hot yoga or Bikram or whichever one you want to do has so many benefits for our body. And so I started using it because I'm able to get deeper into the stretch because the heat really activates our muscles more and it loosens things up. So I'm actually able to stretch better going into hot yoga versus a regular class where it's just a room temperature. So I actually get a better experience going into hot yoga, and then I feel like way sore afterwards. Like you are just able to like stretch everything out. And I actually get quite a bit of neck tension in my luteal phase. And so this is something that I've struggled with for a while. And so I use hot yoga to help counteract the tension that I get in my neck. And so it's something either, I just have to make sure that I'm up moving around, I'm not sitting at a desk for too long, I'm doing things like yoga, and it's just like helping stretch everything out. So when I'm, working or I'm stressed out about something, I naturally, bring my shoulders up to my ears, and I have to consciously remind myself to like bring them down, and it actually then helps my neck. So because our bodies are less resilient to stress the week before and during our period, that's when I can feel it the most. So my body is just like, hey, this is a physical reminder that you need to slow down and just kind of like stretch things out, go to a hot yoga class, and just really try to alleviate the tension that kind of builds up within our body. So for me, it's my neck. For you, it might be somewhere else. Some people, struggle with tension in their back or, in their hip flexors. And just making sure that we're taking that time to stretch things out. Like I have to motivate myself to do yoga or to stretch and do these things. I'm more of like a cardio and strength training person. Like I'd much rather go and do those things. And I have to really push myself to work on my fitness weaknesses, which is stretching and yoga. But another reason why I absolutely love doing hot yoga, and this will help you with your hormones, this will help you with so many things with balancing within your body, and it's because it actually activates and wrings out our internal organs. So all those twists, all those different postures, we're actually wringing out our organs. And I like the hot yoga because it's getting our lymph system to move a little bit more. So our lymph system actually carries out the waste within our body. So we really want that moving and grooving because it's going to help extract on no longer needed hormones in our body, which then helps us balance our hormones. And so hot yoga, we're also sweating. So we're sweating an ish ton. And so our skin is our largest organ. So when we're sweating things out, we're actually able to detox our body more, and we're able to physically release anything in our body that's no longer serving us. And then I feel like yoga takes on a very spiritual approach. So it's like we're mentally and emotionally purging what's no longer serving us. So I see it as an opportunity of letting go. And it's just like, an hour to an hour and a half that you can have within your time, with whether you do that 2 or 3 times a week. I do it about once a week during my follicular and ovulation phase. And then sometimes menstrual, it depends on how I'm feeling, but then I really try to do it about 2 to 3 times a week during my luteal phase, because that's when I need it the most, and to really take care of getting out all of that neck tension that builds up during that time. So I get really strategic on using hot yoga based on where I'm at in my cycle, and just, using it at times more of when I need it during the month, and then just making sure that I'm still getting the benefits at other parts of the month, and I can kind of scale back, knowing that it's not something that I want to do every single day. And like, don't feel like you have to balance your hormones. Like, it doesn't really work like that. If you want to do it every day, that's great. You can totally be balancing your hormones, because it lowers our stress hormones. That cortisol, it just gets it under control. All those breathing exercises, like, it is just super beneficial from a mind-body connection overall. So hot yoga is just something that once I go, like, I'm so happy that I've gone, and I'm so glad that I went back and I didn't allow that first experience in Bikram to tear me away. Because now when I go, like, I just feel so much better. Like, it's like this physical release that our bodies can have. And what I have noticed is if I haven't gone for a while, and then the first time I'm back, I'll sweat a lot more during that first class or two. And then after that, I'm not sweating as much. So I'm still sweating, like, it's still hot and I'm still purging, but I can tell that my body is, like, quite literally the first class or two detoxing severely. And it's just like, okay, I had more things that I needed to release. And then once I make it a regular habit, I'm not sweating as much. So if you're, like, concerned about all that, I'd be interested to know your take on if that happens to you or not after a few classes. So I definitely strategically use hot yoga now to balance my hormones. I cycle sync it based on when I need it the most in terms of stretching out my neck and my back. And I absolutely use it to wring out my organs and physically release no longer needed hormones and toxins that my body does not need. So it just helps me get rid of that buildup. So thank you for joining me on this vlog today. I'm Laura Sherrill, founder of Balanced Bombshells, and I would be so curious to know if you've tried hot yoga and what you've liked from it. So please leave your comments below, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about your hormones and how to cycle sync your life. And I will talk to you later. Bye, Bombshells.